I'm Lewis from SWTVC. So obviously we met briefly the other day, but just wondered if you obviously can answer a few questions for us.
Absolutely.
So, looking at obviously what came out in the panel yesterday, really exciting. I'll be honest, one of the best panels we've had, I think. Amazing stuff. Really love to see it. Really love to see it.
That's great.
The new articulation standard that we're seeing in the vintage collection now is obviously amazing. We're seeing the barbell hips, the necks, the rocker ankles, and they're really selling TVC as that kind of premium line.
Yeah.
But we're seeing figures like repacked, Chewbacca that came with the ATST, Leia, the Endor Leia, and obviously now Rees, which have obviously still got swivel hips.
Sure.
Can you speak a little bit about the strategy of sort of moving away from the older style of articulation and how we can sort of try and put swivel hips in the past along with swivel elbows?
Yes, I hear you. So we're looking for our most impactful areas to update when it comes to the older characters, and when we get a chance to completely redo an older character, we have an amazing time with that, but it's obviously not possible across every opportunity. So it's really weighing, where's that figure going to have the most impact. And I hear you that the swivel hips are pretty dated.
Yeah.
So for us, I think as well, with putting out a Chewbacca, that's one that I think newer entry fans can, appreciate. I'd say getting a Chewbacca out at mass retail is something that, just kids and more casual fans can enter the brand with. We're always wanting to update those amazing figures over time. We're just looking for the best, most impactful spots to do it.
Yeah, perfect. Right. So how difficult is it then to update an older figure that has swivel hips to one that says new barbell hips? I think we touched on it when we were chatting the other day, but it'd be useful just for everyone to hear, if you could discuss that a bit.
So you're going to need about 3 tools
right.
to make something into a barbell hip transversion. So you would need a new torso piece. It would need to change from a PVC torso part into an ABS or a hard plastic torso part. You'll need to tool a POM barbell, the piece inside that creates the joint, and then you would need to retool the upper hips. So any conversion it's more tooling than I think fans might expect to create that new joint, because it involves 3 parts.
Yeah, that's good to know. Good to know. Obviously, the 2021 Tusken Raider, I don't know if you're aware, had some pretty serious issues with the swivel wrists. The hands were actually snapping off. The heads as well were generally stuck in place. Have you addressed that in the new Tusken Raider pack that's come out?
That was the 2020?
2021 Tusken Raider.
Yeah. Go back and chat with our engineering team about it. So it was concerns with wrists.
They seem to be stuck more than anything. I don't know if they've been given a coat of something, but when the wrists were trying to be twisted, they were literally snapping off at people. Maybe. Yeah, so you don't know if that's been addressed in the new pack or not?
I haven't seen the issue myself with any of the models we have currently, so I'll go back and chat with our engineering team about it.
Okay, that's good to know. Right, some of these are really long, because John likes to put in really long questions. Recent Mando Mania reveal has been great, but each individual TVC figure has been from a different wave. Now fans have one figure from 4 different waves on order. It's caused a number of problems. Fans who buy the figures individually end up with paying additional for shipping, or fans who buy cases now have 4 on order when most of the figures are mysterious. Some of the figures are going up for pre-order and some are not, and it's generally confusing. Would it be possible to reveal all the figures from a wave at once, or at least closer together before moving on to another wave?
So I can't specifically speak to the pacing of the drops. I think that's a little more out of my area of expertise. I will say that dropping everything at once would mean you might get less news over the course of the year, where we've heard fans say, is everything getting canceled? What's going on? So if we clustered it all together at once, you wouldn't have that news from month to month to month. So that's some of the goal, is to give you stuff to enjoy all year, and also a little relief on the wallet.
Yeah, you always take some of that. We know that pre-order release dates are hard to lock down, but items are sometimes shipping months ahead of schedule, which can make it hard for collectors on a budget. Recent Indiana Jones items, which I know you're not necessarily connected with, but have been shipping fairly close to release dates, but it can still be a little bit off. Is it getting easier to lock down dates now, now that sort of the world is coming back to normal? Is it something we should expect more now?
I think that shipping in particular has had even farther than COVID, has had impact in the supply chain. So I know that that's stuff that we're working consistently to recover from. I'm not sure exactly where it's at yet, or whether it's completely solved, but we're always doing the best we can to deliver you guys the figures as soon as we can. the best quality that we can.
Yeah, thank you. A few times recently, press releases have given a price that ends up not being correct when the item actually goes up for sale. Again, may not be your area as a designer. I'll ask you anyway. The Target exclusive Boba Fett's ended up £2 more than the given price. The Tusken Raider 5-pack ended up being $5 more. More expensive, sorry. We know that prices are often suggested, but is there any way we can make sure that they're more locked in when they're actually going up for reveal so that people aren't disappointed?
So at the end of the day, a retailer has discretion over the price that they set for an item, so it is not only out of my control, but a little bit out of Hasbro's.
Right, okay. This is one you can answer. So the 212th Battalion, we're standing next to them right now. Obviously, TVC has always been about realistic sculpting. You've been asked this question already because we've already chatted about it, but we obviously want to see characters that are in realistic forms rather than the animated. Going forward, what we've got here now is what it is, but going forward, it feels that most fans want to see realistic. We run a few polls, and I think it was 80% people
so I would
would
say
rather
I've
see that.
absolutely seen the polls and taken in the feedback. This is one that I hear you clearly, and will maybe adjust how we see those in the future.
Brilliant. And along those lines as well, what's the thought process behind the animated cardback images? So Clone Wars figures used to have photos of actors like Hayden, Obi-Wan, they were Ewan as well, but sorry, Ewan as well. But obviously now we're seeing more figures like Hunter, the ARC Troopers that are being used as screenshots from animated series. What's the change in method there? Why has that changed?
Well, I think Hunter is more of a custom illustration.
Right.
Which was the other one that you said?
Because I think when we had Tamura Morrison, generally some of the clones, they were using Tamura Morrison as a realistic appearance, but now they seem to be slipping more towards an animated cardback. And so really the question is there a reason for that? Or is it just...
It's my impression that we are only doing like the truly animated cardbacks for special collections, like the ones that celebrated Gendy Tartakovsky for an anniversary. Other than that, I think our intention is still to sometimes custom illustrate in a style that is intended to be representative.
Right, okay, that makes sense. So just following on from that, are you able to share with us what the Rebels Thrawn card will look like? Will that be the Rebels Thrawn card? You may say what it will look like, you don't know. Will it be as a Rebel appearance on the card?
That item will be tuned into a Rebels appearance.
Right. And the face sculpts, will it lean towards
Rebels?
Lars, not towards Lars?
More toward, I would compare to maybe the portrait you've seen in a Black series. It's not that exact sculpt file, but it's maybe closer to that.
So a realistic interpretation. Okay. For another pipeline figure as well, we saw Pre Vizsla. Will this be based on his early appearance, which has a cape and a helmet without any antenna, or the second appearance, which has got antenna?
You can look to the image that we revealed in the pipeline, and that would be the version.
Right, brilliant. That's probably the right answer. I know there's a lot of media to cover these days, but Black Series now has the entire squad twice over in both their Season 1 and Season 2 armour, while Vintage Collection doesn't have a single member of Bad Batch in hand. Hunter was first revealed at last celebration. We know that you can't reveal anything, but can you assure us that Hunter won't be alone for much longer?
I would say that right now, the toughest thing about this is that it really is a golden era of Lucasfilm content and shows and all of this amazing stuff to pick from. That's been the challenge with the vintage resources that we have. So it's the picking and choosing is the hardest part.
It's hard for us. It's hard for us as well.
It's hard for us all. I just want to make everything.
Brilliant. Well, I have another long one, I'm afraid. So it's great to see so many Imperial officers finally come into TVC thanks to Admiral Piet tooling. Another one you could get out of the original 96 Imperial Commander officer. Imperial Commander, I'll get shot for that. But the original Kenner release had a discrepancy between the black suited figure and the grey suited General Veers card.
Interesting.
Sometimes you've brought the Kenner discrepancy forward into TVC, like Paplu being on the Romba card, and other times you've updated the card to better match the figure. As for example, the Bespin Security held a Spinoza.
Yes.
Trying to get me out on these. Have you given any thought or what you'll do for any potential Imperial Commander release? And what's the thought process on these kinds of releases? You could do separate releases to match both the card and the figure, plus Veers in his armour, perhaps?
Yeah, so this is the type of detail that I would dig all the way into once I'm tuned into a project. When we went to the Bespin Guard item, I dug all the way in, and I'm such a researcher of the history of the character. In this case, I don't think we have anything in development at the moment, I can say. but you know, we've got that body now and we can do some amazing new characters with it. So we'll look to the future for how to, you know, release future guards. At the moment, the ones that we released, for example, Moff Jerjerrod, who we announced this weekend, we know we have the officer body, so we tuned that for the 40th anniversary. So like which officer we do may be like, where's the sun rising as far as officers and content and anniversaries, and which one's the right one for the moment.
No, sounds good. There's a load there, we want them all, so get them all out there. Jabba Throne Room, the display you've got over there looks absolutely fantastic, but Vintage Collection fans haven't been able to get him, Jabba himself, for a few years now. Black Series is getting another one, and obviously getting another chance at him, in a Kenner box no less. Any chance we'll see another release of him soon in TVC for fans who didn't get a chance to back the barge?
I hear you guys on wanting it. I can't reveal anything about the future at this moment, but we'll hear your request.
Brilliant, okay. Do you know whether the Bib Fortuna figure in the Foam Room playset will be on a Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett card? I think we asked you this before and you didn't know the answer at the time. Curious to know if there's an update.
I still haven't held this model in hand yet on hardback. I would have to check with my packaging team again. Sorry to not have the packaging answer at the tip of my tongue.
All right, we'll go next celebration. Perhaps
next celebration, maybe.
So name pill. We've got a couple of questions on some name pills. Both Back Series and Retro Collection cards refer to the Biker Scout, that like the original Kenner card. But the Vintage Collection has called him Scout Trooper. Any reason for that decision?
I'm not sure where this came from. It would be involved with our copy team and Lucasfilm. So a little bit out of my area again. But
okay. So you may have the same answer to the next question, but so why? Basically, the Book of Boba Fett, the Nomad is the version in the Black Series. In the Retro, is referred to as the Dune Sea, and in TVC, we're referring to him as the Tusken. Again, any reason why that's been done that way?
It's a little bit the extended team members that work into the copywriting and again the partnership with Lucasfilm. So I'm not sure that I have an answer for that one today.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. And last question actually. The updated Star Wars checklist that you did last summer was fantastic. People go mad over those sorts of things. I have to tick them off. You've recently provided one for the Indiana Jones. Are we going to see another one come out for Star Wars?
Again, I'm not certain. That might be more tuned into our marketing team. I hope that we do for you guys soon, but I don't have an answer today. Sorry.
Okay, brilliant. No problem. Well, thank you anyway, Emily.
No problem.
For your time. Brilliant. And thank you for everything you do. We'll like to reiterate that we do appreciate all the stuff you do. We're sometimes a little bit critical, but
it's all good. I know we're always trying to tune it in to something that everyone's going to enjoy. We love making you guys the best toys that we can, and I hope you guys love the new reveals that we shared this weekend.
Excellent. Thank you.